Later that evening, Mio's mind seemed elsewhere all throughout dinner. She only gave vague, half-hearted responses when I tried speaking to her. For good reason. No matter what I say. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh. All her replies were no more than 1 or 2 words. Any conversation I tried to start up died as soon as it began. What's going on with her? I'm a little worried, to be honest. Maybe I really shouldn't have pushed her into playing that game.
そうだな。確かに心配ではあるけれど。でも、少し一人にさせておいたらどうだ？あの子も今日一日疲れちゃったのかもしれないし。
Yeah, she probably is.
一晩休んだら元に戻ってるさ。
I hope so. I ended up switching off the game, which we never ultimately completed.
Mmm. 今日もミオちゃん、様子が変だったね。
It's the following day after dinner. Even after we all finished eating, we talked amongst ourselves for a while after. Save for Mio, who scurried off to her room at the first given opportunity.
ご飯を食べ終わったら、またすぐ自分の部屋に閉じこもっちゃうし。無反応ってわけじゃないんだけど、見事に心ここにあらずって感じだったね。
Yeah. He doesn't say that. This all happened because you couldn't keep your mouth shut.
だって仕方ないじゃん。あの時はお姉さんもお姉さんなりに恥じらっていたわけで。
Yeah, and now the closure is that Mio actually has to kiss Yuma so that everything can go back to normal, except for the fact that Mio kissed Yuma. Or the other way around. You embarrassed? That's impossible.
昨日からゆうくんの私に対する態度がなんだかとっても冷たいよ。
Oh, have I?
大好きな幼なじみがちょっとからかわれたからってそんなに怒ることないじゃん。
Not making up stuff.
ユーマさん、ちょっといいですか？
Sure. What's up?
もしも私がいたずらの対象にされていたとしても、ユーマさんは今以上に怒ってくれますよね。
Yes. Actually, now that I look at it, Mio didn't eat all her dinner. In fact, she barely even touched it.
ひどい、無視されました。
Kana clings to Suzu's bosom.
聞いてください、夏目さん。あの二人はいつもああして私を無視しちゃうんです。
かわいそうにね。こんなに可愛い子をいじめちゃうなんて気が知れないよ。
Exactly. It's like Yuma is the same as the character in the game, except he doesn't call every girl a bitch. On the mood for your theatrics right now. The two of them take a seat sulkily. I don't honestly know what they were expecting to gain from that. In all seriousness, we need to talk about Mio.
確かにミオちゃん、全然ご飯を食べてないね。
Right. Maybe she just didn't have an appetite. I don't know.
そういえば、お昼もほとんど食べていらっしゃいませんでしたね。
Really? I didn't know that. Susan and I were out on work-related business at lunchtime, so we weren't here. Work on this side, incidentally, we didn't travel to the parallel world. It was a job involving humans.
朝ごはんもあまり食べてなかったの。
Is that right? Kyo nods.
ご飯をお茶碗半分くらい食べて、はーって大きな大きなため息ついて、そしてもうごちそうさまってしてたの。
Maybe she's feeling under the weather?
体調不良？
Yeah, it's a possibility. It'd certainly explain her strange behavior these past 2 days.
それってあれなの？
What do you think it is?
恋の病？
No, maybe. Say what? I can't help but smile awkwardly. He's not the type to fall madly in love with someone.
何それ、おかしなことを言うね、君は。みおちゃんは誰も好きにならない。どこからそんな根拠が湧いてきちゃうの？
Huh? I don't know. It's just kind of an impression. Yeah, but you're the last person who should be saying that. It was merely something I said without really realizing it. There wasn't any deeper meaning behind it. So they can question me as much as they want about it, but I have no answer.
ふーん。
What do you want?
相手が慣れ親しんだ幼馴染だからって安心してると、もしかするといつか慌てることになっちゃうかもよ。
I have no idea what it is you're trying to tell me.
そんなことじゃ誰かにみおちゃんを持っていかれちゃっても知らないぞって話。
Yeah, well, the only other guy is Ayumu, and he is a cat. So, you know, Ayumu's got pretty high chances. Snatch her away from me? What is that even supposed to mean?
それが嫌なら何か手を打っておかないと。みおちゃんがそんなに大切だって言うのなら余計にね。私の言ってることわかる？
Kinda. After answering, I start to feel unease creep into my mind. Why is this happening? I feel this heavy anxiety all of a sudden. I don't know what the root cause of it is, but I know that it'll only continue to get worse. I feel so uncomfortable. Why is there this dark feeling in the pit of my stomach? I think you're misunderstanding one thing, though, Suzu.
何かな？
Mio isn't really that special to me.
あれ？そうなの？
Sorry, that's not what I meant. I do care about her. She's my childhood friend, after all. What I mean is that my feelings for her aren't what you seem to think they are. My words come out somewhat grumpily. I'm being overly snippy with her, despite knowing I have no reason to be.
はあ、それならもしもだよ。私がみおちゃんに合いそうないい男を紹介しちゃったとしても、それはそれで別に構わないってことなんだね。
What?
あのさ、ゆうくんは知らないかもしれないけど、みおちゃんって意外にってことはないかもだけど、結構人気あるんだよ。学園の生徒に限らず、いろいろと幅広に。
Where are you going with this?
特に商店街のじいちゃんばあちゃんは好感触なんだよね。いつもみおちゃんがここの買い出しとか言ってくれてるでしょ？
Yeah, good point. I guess she has been doing a lot of shopping for us as of late.
うん。その時にみおちゃんは町内の人たちとよく話をするみたいなんだけど、ぜひうちの孫の嫁になってほしいからみおちゃんを孫に紹介させてくれって本人にだけじゃなくて私もそう頼まれたりするんだよね。
What? A bunch of old people want her to marry their grandsons? Who are these people?
さあ、どうだろうね。
Come on, Yuma. She's goading you. What? Come on, man. She grins cheekily.
ゆうくんには教えてあげない。
Why are you messing with me?
プライバシーってのがあるから。
Well, whatever. Since when did you become a matchmaker anyway? I ask her casually as I stand up.
ユマさん、どこへ行かれるんですか？
To deliver dinner.
お夕飯がどうかなさいました？
Well, Mio hasn't had any dinner. I start to rummage through the dining room pantry. That, and, you know,
あれって何ですか？
she didn't eat much for breakfast or lunch either. That's definitely not good for health-wise.
何か焦っちゃった？
Yeah, maybe. No, not really. Truthfully, maybe a little.
焦ってるんじゃないか。
I leave the dining room without another word. I bring Mio's meal to her room 102. Man, what the heck am I doing? She clearly isn't hungry, otherwise she would have eaten her meals. So why? Am I expecting her to magically change her mind once I come knocking on her door for food? I don't know what's come over me. Maybe Suzu's warning earlier really did spawn feelings of anxiety within me. No. That's just silly. It's also correct. You're right, you did.
ミオが自分以外の誰かを好きになるなんてありえないって？
Okay, well, you don't know that. I don't need you to start teaching me about this too, Shinku.
ごめん。なんだかユーマが可愛くってさ。
What are you trying to say about me? That hardly sounded like a compliment to me. Anyhow. Right. Back to the subject at hand. Mio must be starving right now. I mean, she's barely eaten anything this entire day. Plus, she's been acting uncharacteristically aloof. Maybe something's weighing on her mind. If there is, then I wonder if there's anything I can do to help. As those thoughts course through my head, I arrive at room 102. Huh? The door's open. It's slightly ajar. I can see the light from within seeping through that tiny crack and illuminating the dark hallway. Hey, Mio, can you hear me? With both hands occupied, I can't knock. I attempt to push open the door using my shoulder, when suddenly,
ユーマ。
I hear Mio murmuring. Sometime before. Kiss. I know that band. Sorry I made you help me out, Mio. I know it's supposed to be my turn to cook dinner.
別にいいわよ。これくらい。料理作るのもう慣れてるし。
You and I are in the kitchen together. We stand next to each other in front of the sink preparing the food for tonight's dinner. The rhythmic sound of the knife chop chop chop. The light sound of the simmering food in the pot blub blub blub. Our shoulders touch. My heartbeat quickens, but quickly rises. I'm not doing these onomatopoeias. Mio. My voice comes out a pitch higher than normal due to my flustered state. I panic. What if you can hear the beating of my heart right now? My face is red as a tomato, and the thought of that makes me feel so embarrassed. Yet all Yuma did is smile at me and comment on how cute I am. I smile back in turn. What is this feeling? I'm not familiar with it, but it feels so blissful. A warm mixture of both happiness and embarrassment. Thanks for everything you did for me, Mio.
え、ありがとうって？
You've been such a big help ever since you moved in here. My life's been way too hectic as of late. This random maid appears out of nowhere and starts harassing me, and I've been having to help out my master with her work as always. On top of that, now I've suddenly found myself in the position of the dorm's acting manager. I've been worried half to death that with all this chaos and hullabaloo, I've never seen someone use that word in my life. Now, I wonder if I'll be able to cope with it on my own. Thankfully, though, I have you, Mio.
え？
He then takes my hand in his. You make things so much less stressful. I feel happy when you're with me. His large palm is so warm.
どうして？私がいるとユーマは安心なの？
Of course you do. I love you, Mio. Not just as a childhood friend either. He blushes as he avoids meeting my eyes. This is not how Yuma would ever act. He strikes me as a little endearing.
大好き？ユーマが私を？
Yeah, I love you, Mio.
ユーマ。
Mio. We gaze longingly into each other's eyes. Our faces draw gradually closer, pulled by some invisible force. All I can see are his pink lips. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Then our mouths touch as we kiss, and we kiss. I spring upright. I'm in room 102, my room. I look around. Yuma's nowhere to be seen.
ちょっと待ってよ。
That was all a dream. We kissed. Yuma and I kissed.
どうしてあんな夢？
The answer, of course, is simple.
あんなゲームやるんじゃなかったかも。
You're right. Maybe you shouldn't have named the main character Yuma. I never expected to see something that graphic. It was a kiss. Okay, well, now I'm acting like Hyo. Under normal circumstances, I would have just dismissed it as being gross, and that would be that. However, I just can't get my mind out off that game's final scene. It plays in my head like a never-ending video. Because of that, I haven't been able to focus on anything else. I keep inadvertently staring at Yuma's lips whenever I'm around him. It's unbearably embarrassing. It's gross.
でも
I just can't get that scene out of my mind, no matter what I do. Now, to make matters worse, I'll be thinking non-stop about the dream I just had. You were calling my name, to which I reply, then we kiss. My face flushes as I recall it.
何よ。
I flop down, burying my head into my pillow.
可愛いって大好きって何なのよ。
he's never said anything even remotely like that to me in real life. Until, you know, later on. I sigh.
昨日はあんまり寝れなくて、ご飯を食べてついうとうとしてたら、あんな夢を見るなんて。
A dream like that. I think back to its details. It's too much. Okay. After 2 CGs that wouldn't be censored in the all ages version, you had to hit me with a 5th CG that will be. But, you know, I can't complain. I roll around agonizingly on top of the bed. Ever since yesterday, I've been doing nothing but this when alone. Why? Something's wrong with me. How do I fix this? I love you, Mio. Yuma's voice from the dream resounds in my head.
大好き。大好きって。
Turn over. Clutching my teddy bear, I roll back and forth endlessly. Until my forehead slams into the wall beside me.
もうやだ、最悪。バカみたい。
I writhe in pain as I bury my face into my pillow again.
もう本当に最悪。
The embarrassment from the game and the embarrassment from my dream combine, making it only that much worse. My head is an absolute mess right now. I think I might really be losing it.
大好き。
One more time, I murmur those words to myself.
ユーマが私を大好き。
Yeah, you wish. After I've calmed down a bit, I sit upright again. After I've calmed down a bit. Wait,
そんな権利私にはないのに。
Still, I think to myself.
私がこんなに困ってるのに、あいつは今も平気な顔して他のこと楽しく話してるなんて。
All I have to do is imagine him talking to them and with a smile on his face. I don't understand why. But it frustrates me so much.
ユーマのバカ、巨乳好き。
I punch my pillow. Saying it aloud only seems to make my frustration grow. It's not fair. Why am I the only one agonizing over this?
不公平だよ。こんなのおかしい。
I squeeze my bear as tightly as I can. Doing that at least makes me feel a little better.
キス。ユーマとキス。
I have no right to do something like that with him. I'm aware of that. I really am.
でもちょっと練習してみるくらいいいよね。
I sit upright again, holding my teddy bear in both arms. I lift it up toward my face. I knew it. I gulp. The embarrassment is coming. Slowly. No, on second thought, it's rushing in. But still.
ユーマ、
I look at the bear's head, which is roughly the size of a person's, and place my lips on its nose. This is practice. All I'm gonna do is practice this. Is that the humor that he heard? There's nothing to feel embarrassed about. All I gotta do is call his name again. His name again. I can do it. Oh, it wasn't that one. I had already decided long ago that I wanted to give my first kiss to this boy. So I call his name once more.
Yuma.
That's the one he heard. I hold my teddy bear tightly. Then I kiss it. If, by some stroke of luck, if such an impossible situation ever were to become a reality, then I'm gonna need practice. Practice at least. So I don't end up chickening out due to embarrassment. I squeeze my eyes shut.
Yuma.
Well, let's hope you didn't hear that one. I stutter stupendously, but decide not to do a retake. Hey, that's just like me. However, before I can continue, all of a sudden, I sense someone's gaze.
なんだろう。
Upon opening my eyes, I immediately discover the source of that feeling. Hello, Mio. I didn't see you there. My body stops moving and my teddy bear falls. My brain ceases to function and my mind goes blank. Yuma's standing outside my room, peering in through the slight crack in the door. Mio? He stares at me, slack-jawed. I kneel down and put my pillow back in its proper place.
いつから聞いてたの？
Not too long.
どこまで聞いたの？私の独り言？
Let's hope he didn't hear the first. It wasn't from the first Yuma. You said something about loving me.
そうなの。
Mio? So, Mio, was that supposed to be serious? To Mio? You okay? Flap. I slam my white face into my pillow. Yeah, but it'd be muffled. Why? Why did this have to happen to me? What's the matter, Mio? Are you in pain? Yes, I'm in pain. My head's on fire right now. I'm gonna die of embarrassment here.
いや、入ってこないで。お願いだから。
Well, what do I do now? I stumbled upon something utterly bizarre. As I was coming to bring Mio some leftovers, I caught a glimpse of her sitting on her bed, whispering my name. Was she kissing her stuffed bear as practice or something? My mind's swarming with questions right now. Why would she even be doing something like that? I stand in a daze outside of room 102 after Mio pushed me out, pleading at me, threatening to kill me if I didn't comply, and yelling out multiple times that she was going to die. Pricking my ears, I listened.
やだ、もうやだ。どうしてこんなことになっちゃうの？
I could hear her sniffing and crying. That and the sound of something being hit repeatedly. Mio, I came at the worst possible time. Indeed you did. If only I had done the proper thing and knocked instead of being lazy about it. I'm so sorry, Mio. Unable to fix my mistakes. I'm left with nothing but regret. Despite that, though, I'm smiling. It's a curious thing. Even though I wasn't supposed to see that, I can't deny that it was incredibly adorable. I feel so giddy. Maybe that's why I'm smiling like I am. I feel bad for Mio, but honestly, I'm filled with relief. Mio, are you crying in there? Something slams repeatedly against the other side of the door.
泣いてるわよ。
Huh?
恥ずかしくって頭の中がめちゃくちゃで涙が全然止まんない。だからお願い、今見たことは全部忘れて。じゃないともうここから一歩も出たくない。
I sit with my back against the door to room 102. This way I could speak with Mio through the wall. The dinner I'd brought her had long since gone cold. Hey, Mio.
何よ、もういいから放っておいてってば。お願いだから一人にしてよ。
I take a deep breath, then say, let's go on a date.
だからもう放っておいてって。
Will you go on a date with me? This weekend? This weekend? She sinks into silence. It almost seems as though she's doing a double take to confirm that she really did hear what she thought she did. You remember our promise? You said you'd do anything I'd ask for. Any one thing if I pass this makeup test. My makeup tests. Let me guess. You forgot. Fancy you being the forgetful one for once, huh? I plaster a wry grin across my face. I wonder what sort of expression she's making right now. I have no way of knowing that. I can't see beyond this wall. At the very least, though, I hope she stopped crying. Remember? I asked for a date with you as my reward. You and I would go on a date this weekend.
あれ？
I hear her voice faintly from across the wall.
あの約束、冗談じゃなかったの？
Oh, no, of course not. I was serious. To use a phrase you're particularly fond of, I can't stand lies or jokes.
何それ？
There was a slight tenderness in her tone of voice. Though she still seemed to be wiping away her tears. I know you told me to forget everything I saw that and heard today.
じゃないと私生きていけない。
Of embarrassment? She didn't respond. However, I could sense that she's nodding on the other side of this door. Alright, in all honesty though, I kind of don't want to forget about that.
どうしてそんな意地悪言うの？
Sorry, you were just so cute.
かわいいって。
Her voice comes out with a slightly high pitch. Maybe that was something better left unsaid. I need to choose my words more prudently. If you say you're going to die if I don't, though, well, then I guess I'll have to, one way or another. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think I can, seeing that made me way too happy.
嬉しい？
See? The thing is, I've never really been able to tell whether you like me or not. I even seriously worried at times that you hated my guts or something. But after seeing what you did a minute or so ago, I feel a lot better. It sort of dispelled all those doubts that I had in my mind. So that's kind of why I don't want to forget it. Even if you tell me to, I feel like I just can't. Plus, I got to see that hidden adorable side of yours that I really don't want to forget.
バカ、余計なこと言うなって。
Shinku heaves a sigh. No, don't worry, Shinku. He's saying the right words.
そういうこと言うと、ますますあの子は部屋から出てこなくなっちゃうぞ。
Mio's fallen silent. Maybe Shinku was right. And I shouldn't have said those things. Don't worry, Yuma. You made the right choice. Mio, are you listening?
聞いてる。
Alright. Good. That's a huge relief. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is basically talking to you, saying all this stuff to you, well, it's pretty embarrassing for me too.
恥ずかしい？私に話すの？
Oops. Hang on.
恥ずかしい？私に話すのが？
Yeah. I lean my head back against the door. It's a little embarrassing directly saying something like that to someone I've known for so long.
あんなこと？あんなことって？
I'm talking about, you know, the thing that fine. I scratch my head irately. Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. It takes a lot of guts to tell a girl that you think she's cute, especially when she's your close friend, and she's someone you've known ever since you were a little kid. That's what I was talking about. Oh boy. What am I even saying? I get the feeling that once I'm done here, I'm going to go back to my room and be kicking myself over this until morning. Still, that doesn't stop me from continuing. I can't stop now after how far I've come. Well, there you have it. I'm feeling extremely embarrassed right now, as much as you are, or possibly more. I don't know, it's like I'm not even myself right now. Like my mouth has a mind of its own, and I'm saying all these things unwittingly. Jesus.
言葉か。
I don't have a mirror on me to check, but I reckon my face is bright red right now. It certainly feels that way, at least. Well, it's not in the CG. So, I guess, don't you think this puts us on equal footing? We're both bearing with embarrassment, with embarrassing sides of ourselves to each other. Bearing these embarrassing sides of ourselves to each other. Fuck. Almost like we're partners in crime or something.
ごめん。
Huh?
ユーマがそこで話してくれたおかげで少しだけ冷静になってきたけど、でもごめんなさい。今日はもうこれくらいで許して。明日になったら普通にいつも通りに戻ってるから、戻ってるように頑張るから。
Right. I'm sorry too. I know I kind of forced you to talk to me about this after you kicked me out. That was a little pushy of me.
ユーマ。
Mio? Suddenly, I see her face peering sheepishly through the tiny crack in the door. I spot a hint of nervousness in those eyes.
デートの件だけど、
Yeah?
あの話本当なの？
Serious, as in...
私とデートしてくれるの？
Yeah, well... I was the one who requested it to begin with.
そうよね。そういえばそうだった。でも、私でよければ付き合うから。
Really?
約束だもの。仕方ないじゃない。
I noticed my lips curving into a smile. Oh, Mio, you're contradicting yourself. You can't stand lies or liars, can you?
そういうことかもしれない。
Okay.
うん。
So, just to make sure one last time, we're going on the date.
うん。
And I clenched my fist and thrust it in the air victoriously.
何してるの？
Nothing. Sorry, I'm just kind of jumping for joy right now.
そんなに喜ばれても困る。デートって言ってもただ一緒に遊びに行くだけなのに。
I know, but it's still incredibly exciting to me. I smile. This weekend's gonna be great.
うん。
So, are you okay with letting me decide where we'll be going? What we'll be doing and all that stuff? She nods. Sweet.
ねえ、もういい？
Done as in what?
それは。
Mio closes the door a teensy tiny bit.
私だってその今は顔が多分真っ赤だと思うから、そんなのあんまりユーマに見られたくない。
Right. What is this? What is this terribly awkward mood in the air? Anyway, I'm looking forward to the weekend.
私も
I'm going to do a lot of planning to make this into the best date ever. You'll have so much fun and you forget all about the embarrassment of today.
分かった。でもね。
ん？
今日のことはもう忘れなくてもいいから。だけどお願い。もう思い出させないでほしい。恥ずかしくて本当に死んじゃうから。
Clank. With that, Mio closes the door.
おやすみ。
Good night. I turn my back to room 102 and walk away, taking the freezing cold food away with me. Hopefully by tomorrow, Mio will be back to her usual self. At that point, I suddenly remember that teddy bear which she practiced kissing on. Lucky bastard. Why couldn't that be me? I was waiting for him to say that. Once Yuma has left, I sit down on the bed. My mind's just gonna get kinda gone blank. I can't think straight whatsoever. Still, there's one thing that remains clear. It wasn't in a video game. Nor was it in my dreams. Yuma told me that he thought I was cute.
私もしかしてまだ夢見てる？
I pinched my cheek to check. Despite my doubts, I could feel the pain very keenly.
夢じゃない。夢じゃなかった。
What a relief. As much as I'd like to forget all about how Yuma caught me in that embarrassing act, as much as I want to forget about it, if it had all been nothing but a dream, I more than likely would have started crying again.
かわいい。ユーマが私をかわいいって。
What do I do? What do I do?
なんだかこれって。
Much more than I anticipated.
嬉しい。
I can't help but break into a smile. Ironic, as that is considering that only moments ago I was ready to mark this down as the worst day of my life. I sigh. Then I remember.
ユーマ、私、幼馴染はもう嫌だよ。
That was what I said in the game. Still cuddling my teddy bear, I flopped down sideways onto my bed sheets.
ユーマ、私も幼馴染のままなんてもう嫌だよ。
Feel a sharp stinging pain in my chest. I know that I'm asking for something that I don't deserve to have. I'm his childhood friend, yet I'm not. Given the contradictory nature of our relationship, I don't deserve to have anything more with him. I know he would accept that. There's totally something wrong with me today. I haven't been acting like myself at all.
だけど今日はなんだかうまく眠れそう。
I close my eyelids. Right now, I'm more excited to see tomorrow than any dream. Time to write in the diary. I flip open Shinku's book on my desk and begin to detail the events of today.
今日は私の助言がなくても日記を書けるみたいだな。
Yeah, today was a good day. I'm confident that I can write about what happened fairly easily. Right. Mio said my name aloud and kissed her stuffed bear as practice.
何ニヤニヤしてるんだよ。
I was not. I just happened to remember something particularly pleasant that happened today. It's got me feeling jittery right now, all of a sudden. We agreed to our date this weekend, and I promised her that I would craft together something so fun and exciting that she'd forget about today's embarrassment.
そうだな。ユーマはあの子にそう約束してた。何かいいアイディアがあるからそうしたんだろ？違うのか？
In all truthfulness, I don't. I haven't thought of any nice ideas whatsoever. My list is totally blank right now.
それじゃあなんであんなこと言ったりしたんだよ。できもしないような約束をして一体どうするんだ？
No, I don't really have a leg to stand on. I just thought it was the right thing to say at that point in time, and it was. I scratch my head as my eyes wander around the room. Eventually, my gaze falls upon the calendar on the wall beside me. Oddly enough, there's something marked on it for next weekend.
どうした？何か気になることでも見つけたか？
There's the festival that happens in the merchant town, but that happens a little while. That happens like a while later. Well, no, actually. The timeline kind of matches up. Yeah, can I ask you something first, though?
なんだ？
How come you're not sitting on my lap today, Shinku?
ああ、もうユーマも日記を書くことくらい一人でできるようになったみたいだしな。
I don't...
ない。なんて甘えたことは許さないぞ。それはそうと、ミオと出かける週末はどういった予定を考えていくつもりなんだ？
I haven't decided yet. Well, I hadn't decided. I think I might have stumbled across something that might work.
いいもの？
I nod, pointing toward the calendar. It's a year-long calendar, which notes various events and happenings going on in other worlds. Coincidentally enough, it seems that there just so happens to be a summer festival being held this weekend in the merchant town. See, I told you, the timelines match up, which means that Haku's still alive, baby!
夏祭り。なるほど。悪くないかもしれないな。
Please, go. But if they go to the merchant town, please show Haku. Yeah, festivals are pretty standard for dates. so I think it'll be a safe bet either way. Though I certainly wouldn't mind taking a day to just leisurely amble around this town together. Sometimes it's nice to do something together for a change. I might need to do a bit of prior research so I know what to expect. Then I can begin to plan where I should take her and what I should do with her on the day of. Still, though, there is one small concern that I need to sort out first. An issue that I absolutely need to resolve before we can attend the festival this weekend. If I invite Mio to the summer festival, if I do, then I'll have to take her to the merchant town, which means going through the basement together. I know I'm kind of stating the obvious, but still.
異世界についてミオに説明をするのが大変なんだ。とかいうようなことじゃないよな。ユーマが今思ってることは。
Well...
あの子にはあまり異世界と関わり合わせたくない。
That might be it. Here's the thing though, right? If it was Mio, right? Maybe. But here's the thing. If it's an Ayumu situation and the person in Mio's body is not Mio, right? Like Ayumu is an Ayumu, it might not be a problem. It's a delicate issue for her, given what happened in the past, so I need to tread around it carefully. Something happened in the past that was related to parallel worlds. Meaning... Okay. Something happened, right? Like what happened with Kana. But unlike Kana's situation, Mio died. And someone else took over her body. And that's the Mio that we have right now, right? Look, it's because of Ayumu that I'm tunnel visioning on this pathway, right? On this theory, right? Because like there isn't any other situation where I would see why at the start of her route she was essentially talking to herself in the third person, right? Unless it was something like a Yumu situation. Then again, it's been how many years since then? Part of me thinks it might be okay to tell her about them now.
大丈夫？その根拠は？
Nothing in particular. Really, it's just sort of a hunch. It's been a while since then, and she's not a kid anymore, so I think maybe she'll be able to handle it. Though, if the trauma from back then still lingers in her mind, and she keeps avoiding them at all costs, she'll probably never overcome her fear of them for the rest of her life.
そうだな。そういうこともあるかもしれないな。でも、如月ミオにとってそれは本当に苦手を克服しなくちゃいけないものなのかという問題もあるけれど、あの子は如月ミオは異世界について今以上を知る必要が本当にあるのか？個人の尺度で正しいと思うことを、それが君のためだからと善意のつもりで差し出してしまうのは、ただの身勝手な自己満足にしかならない場合が得てして多いぞ。
Yeah. I get your point, Shinku. The first thing I need to do in that case is remember everything that happened down to the last detail. I'll use that as a starting point to make my decision. Following that, I quickly finish up my diary entry for the day before flipping back through Shinku's book. In doing so, I can recall what happened on that day. vividly, distinctly. I flipped back to a page from many years ago, to a memory from a time when I was still so very young. Once I read it, it all comes back to me, as if I'm reliving this day in a dream. Who are you? Her voice from that day echoes in my head. I was waiting for the flashbacks. Finally, they're here. Yesterday's me and the witch who reads the Witch's Handbook. Young Suzu. On that day, my childhood friend Kisaragi Mio had taken me along to meet the witch. The witch taught me the secret trick I needed to remember and retain my identity from day to day. The solution was to keep a diary. Oh, so it wasn't Shinku's idea, it was hers. An entry written before and the end of each day. More specifically, what that would mean before I went to bed. The translucent sorceress Nikaido Shinku and the book which appeared appeared along with her. I would write my entries in its blank pages. Thank you so much, Miss Witch. Now that you've taught me this, I'll be able to live through each day.
そうか、そいつは何より。よかったな。
And we get a penny shot of young Suzu. The young witch replied curtly. As usual, she sat still on the windowsill, engrossed in a rather thick book. If I asked you why exactly the diary helped me retain my memories, would you provide me with an answer?
さあな、自分で考えろ。というか、こんなのは誰かに教えてもらったところで、正しい理解を得るには難しいんだよ。特に今のお前には。だからもう少し大きくなったら教えてやるよ。それにふさわしい時が来たらな。
Anyhow, from that day forth, I decided to pen a diary. I had to if I wanted to keep my identity and stay me for longer than a day. Even if I didn't understand the process through which it allowed me to retain my memories, I would do it without question. There was no point in constantly asking questions of why at that period of time. As long as it netted me immediate results, nothing else mattered. The witch was reading a book. In fact, now that I thought about it, she'd never stopped since we first arrived. What are you reading?
百科事典。
Is it interesting?
さあな。魔女は魔女なりに知りたいことがたくさんあるのさ。魔法を使うには膨大な情報量が必須なんだよ。だからこうして本を読む。頭の中の情報量を無差別に増やしていくことによって説得力がぐっと増す。それがお前の言うところの私の魔法なんだよ。
Oh, okay.
嘘だけどな。
Did a little trolling.
私は別に魔法なんて使えない。お前が期待しているだろう素敵な奇跡なんて起こせない。魔法の使えない魔女なんて聞いたことないだろう。
I don't know.
お前も何か知りたいと思うなら本を読め。そうすればわからないことが少なくなるし、できないことも少しずつ少なくなっていく。
Reading is especially beneficial for someone like you. The more you read, the wiser you'll become. It's as simple as that, the witch proceeded to tell me. It's true, though. I'll become wiser? Well, it depends on what you read. You know, after the 100th power fantasy manhwa that I've read, it's definitely, I've definitely not become smarter because of it. Will I get anything good out of it? But, you know, I'm still not going to stop reading them.
何がいいことなのか悪いことなのか、自分には何が不要なのか必要なのか、そしてこの世界がどれだけ面白い場所なのか、その判断ができるようになる。それも賢くなるってことの一つの答えだろ。
I cocked my head to one side, to which the witch gave a faint smile. It was the first time I'd seen her smile that day.
これ、おすすめだぞ。とても面白い小説だ。
Okay. I took the book from her and began to read through it. It was set in the distant future and told the story of a young man who had been enlisted into the special forces of a powerful nation. The government had tasked him with hunting down a certain man, a lone wolf terrorist who controlled people's minds via the special power in his words, his aim to shake the very foundation of the global world order. That was the gist of the plotline. To me, however, it seemed to be a tale of the protagonist's search for meaning in his life, as he traveled from battlefield to battlefield all across the world.
子供に読ませるにはさすがに少し難しいんじゃないかな、このお話は。
Actually, I should have been using kid humor voice, shouldn't I? Okay, here's the thing though. Why the fuck do I have to be sick the same day that they finally show another flashback of Yuma? Alright, let me try this. I blinked at the sorceress's words echoed in my head. Do you live in this place by yourself? That doesn't work.
いいや、管理人がいる。でもまだ出会える時じゃない。
Huh?
もう少しで出会えるさ。私もお前も今よりもっと大きくなったらな。
They lived together but had never met. Things the witch said were always a bit peculiar, and I had trouble making sense of them. We both sat there and read books until the sun began to set. Just like the witch had said, it felt as though I was gradually becoming able to do things that I couldn't before through the help of books. The first star was already twinkling up in the sky. That was when the witch closed the book in her hands with a snap.
私は仕事をしようと思ってる。
The witch looked up at the darkening sky outside the window as she spoke. You work?
うん。なんだか事情はよくわからないが、近所のガキどもがよくこの寮に忍び込んできては、私に何か願い事をするんだよ。それは昨日言って聞かせたよな。
That was bad.
うん。なんだか事情はよくわからないが、近所のガキどもがよくこの寮に忍び込んできては、私に何か願い事をするんだよ。それは昨日言って聞かせたよな。
There you go. I nodded in response.
そして誰もがお前たちみたいに読み終わった本を持ってきては、お願いです。どうか私たちのお願いを聞いてください。とかなんとか言いやがる。一体何の儀式なんだよこれは。って呆れちまう。私は本から得られる情報を食べて生きているようなものだけど、それでも体は知識じゃ大きくならない。そろそろそういうのにも嫌気がさし始めていたところなんだ。うんざりしていたところだったんだ。だからこれを 仕事にしてやろうと思ってる。持ち込まれた困難な依頼をこなす何でも屋とか、そんな感じだよ。
You're treating it as work, even though you're sick of it? Well, you know. Yes.
あ、そうだよ。嫌だ、うざいな、もうやめろよ。ここには来るなと拒否しても、困ったことや不自由を抱えるガキどもは溢れてやまない。それなら、私も仕事と割り切れば、まあやってやれないこともない。
Oh. You seem like a kind person.
ちげえよ。そんなんじゃない。
Yeah, we know that one. We know.
ただ私は暇なだけなんだ。私が私としての役割をこなすのはまだまだ先だろうし、この体が必要十分に成長するのもまだ先だ。ともかく、これからは困ったガキどもや、それに限らずいろいろな奴らを助けるために動こうかと思う。こちら側、あちら側に限らず。だからこれから私は留守にすることが多くなる。ここの本なら好きに読めばいい。私の言いたいこと、わかるな？
Yeah. I nodded. I put down the book, which I'd finished. The witch eyed me incredulously, remarking, "Wow, someone's a fast reader. You're already on your 5th book." Were they interesting? She asked. She went on to ask. Yes, I replied. What do you think of the first book I had you read? Well, it really made me consider the power of words. Depending on how you use them, they can even become a weapon to kill with. Maybe that's an overstatement, but anyway, the message I got was to always be careful of what you say to others. Yep, the witch responded. But it got me thinking, if you can use words to potentially kill others, could you not also use the words to bring people happiness? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Congratulations, you pass. The witch smiled and rubbed my head. Hey.
Huh? なんだ?
Would it be alright for me to help you with your work too?
どういうことだ?
I haven't properly thanked you for fulfilling my request, so I was thinking I could tag along with you wherever you go and help you maybe as something like an assistant. Would you be okay with that, Miss Witch?
好きにすればいいさ。
Thank you.
でも一つだけ条件がある。私を魔女とか呼ぶのはもうよせよ。恥ずかしいだろ?
You don't like it?
ダメ。
Okay, I'll call you Master then.
ん?
The book I just read taught me about it. Apparently, the person who teaches the less experienced person the secrets of their craft is called the Master.
なるほどね。師匠か。魔女よりかはまだ幾分マシか。
Well, yeah, considering Witch has a negative connotation toward it.
それなら最初の教えだ。今日から僕はやめろ。俺にしろ。
Why is that important?
これからの私たちはどうしようもない悪党と戦ったりすることもあるかもしれない。実際、これまで私はそういうことが何度かあった。それなのに、僕なんて自分を呼んでたら相手に舐められちゃうだろ?
Oh, cool. I'm glad I had the right voice for humor. Really?
そういう場合もあるって話した。人間ってのはいろいろなタイプがいるから。それにもっともっとお前を人間らしく普通に馴染ませていかないといけないな。
What Suzu was
一緒
telling
に仕事をするというのなら余計にだ。
what Suzu was telling you is to lock in. So make sure you keep reading daily, the witch added.
学校の勉強とかは一切できなくてもいいから。そんなものできる必要はまるでないから、今はただただ本を読め。この世界に一刻も早く馴染んでいけるように。
Yeah, well, he didn't focus on either of them, so what happened between this time and when he stopped reading? I understand. So, what should I mean, what are we gonna call ourselves? The Jack of all trades?
そうだな。私たちの目的は困った人たちを自由にすること。逃がし屋なんていうのはどうだ？何でも屋ではなく、殺し屋でもなく、逃がし屋だ。世の中にはそういう仕事もすでにあるみたいだしな。
The witch, my master, smiled mischievously. Yeah, I think that's a great name.
だろう？いい暇つぶしくらいにはなるさ。私たちが大きく成長するまでの暇つぶしくらいには。
Oh, you didn't hear that. By the way,
どうした？
have you seen my childhood friend, Kisaragi Mio? I knew that she was here with me when I arrived, but I'd been so focused on reading and talking with my master that I hadn't noticed she wasn't here. Only when it came time for me to leave and go home did I realize.
どうだろう。知っての通り、今日の私はお前とずっと一緒にここにいたからな。あの子、今日もお前と一緒にここへ来たのか？
I nodded. I told her that I was going to your...
俺。
I told her I was gonna go to your room and she said she was gonna explore the dorm in the meanwhile.
寮内を探検？
Oh, no, so that's what happened. My master immediately frowned worryingly.
それは少しだけ。まずいな。
She went to the basement, didn't she? My master then stood up and led me straight to the dormitory's basement.
やっぱりな。柱時計をいじったか。
A sigh escaped her.
子供ってのはこういうところで妙に勘がいいから困る。
I didn't make the obvious quip that she was still a kid herself. According to the book I'd read, you never questioned what your master said.
さて、少々入り込んだ問題が発生してしまった。あの子は迷子になってしまったのかもしれないな。
What?
師匠からの教え、その2だ。よく聞けよ。
My master, Natsume Suzu, proceeded to explain to me that this dorm's basement was connected to a myriad of parallel worlds.
この寮の管理人がそういう風に作ったんだ。この建物を。
The manager did?
そして、その異世界への鍵である柱時計がいじられてる。きっとあの子は、子供らしく無用な好奇心と発揮される必要のない勘の良さを働かせ、扉の鍵をいじってしまったんだろう。
Mio's lost in one of these parallel worlds right now.
そうだな。そういうことになる。そんな顔するなって。私を誰だと思ってやがるんだよ。魔女だぞ。そしてお前の師匠だ。最初の仕事にしてみれば悪くない。
What do you mean?
行き先は分かってる。時計の針が示してる。ちょっくら行って探してくるよ。あの子のことを。
The witch smiled. I remember thinking at the time that she looked prettiest when she smiled.
それじゃ、行ってくるな。
You're going barefoot?
裸足で。
Shouldn't you at least wear sandals or something?
平気だって、こんなの。ちょいと言って帰ってくればいいだけの話だ。そうだろ？
But you'll hurt your feet if you step on anything sharp.
しょうがないな。お前がそこまで言うなら。
There were pairs of shoes in the basement for visiting different worlds. My master Suzu found some sandals and put them on. Wait right here, I'll be back shortly, she instructed me, before opening the basement door. Beyond that door lied a completely different world. A few hours passed. I'd fetched a book from my master Suzu's room and had been reading it as I waited. Eventually the door opened and she returned with Mio in tow. Thank goodness. There were no visible scratches or wounds. She seemed to be alright. I was really worried that something might have happened to her, given that she'd gotten lost in some completely foreign world.
最初の仕事としては守備は上々といったところか。報酬は明日からお前が私のために食事を作ってくれるっていう契約で構わないぞ。
The witch was in a good mood. It seemed I was going to have to start cooking for her though. Guess I'd better start reading some cookbooks.
そうだな。そうすることでお前は何でもできるようになるからな。学校の勉強だとか、自分の嫌いなこと以外なら何でもな。
The most important thing in life are the things that you like, the witch said with a smile. Why'd you wander off like that, Mio? You shouldn't go exploring unfamiliar places all on your own. You could have gotten seriously hurt. Am I getting too wimpy for humor? I don't know. My rescued childhood friend stared fixedly at me. Mio? Something didn't quite seem right with her. What's the matter? Are you alright? Finally, she spoke, albeit with a timidness in her tone. Okay, here's the thing, right? She may not have died. But something did happen. And of course it happens now. And we're gonna find out later of course we're gonna have to find out later when I learn more about Mio and I'm more emotionally attached to her. So of course, fuck this game. Man, you're gonna pull Kana on me. Fuck you. I'm already tearing up just thinking about what's gonna happen. I closed Shinku's book. Who are you? At first, I thought that it had been Mio's idea of a sort of spiteful practical joke. To get back at her friend me, whose memories reset every day prior to meeting the witch. For all intents and purposes, I only existed as who I was for a single day. The person I was the day before was no more, and whether or not I would wake up the next morning as me was always an uncertainty. I fully realized how much that hurt Mio, which is why I thought she was asking who I was to get back at me for that. So I initially wrote it off as just a mean-spirited prank. But that turned out to be wrong. Mio had actually forgotten about me entirely. To be more precise though, she forgot about me and only me. Really? Interesting. she still remembered everything about Suzu, about the dorm, and about the town. So why did she completely forget about everything related to me? It was like a part of her mind had been wiped clean. The immediate thought was that something had happened to her in that parallel world. Suzu and I asked her repeatedly about that, but she simply tilted her head in confusion and said that she didn't know, with a somewhat somber expression. I sigh. Maybe the trauma isn't on Mio's end, but on mine. In the end, her memories never came back. She never remembered how we gazed out at the sea's horizon, or how we ate lunch together on the breakwater. She had completely forgotten every detail about me and the time we'd spent together. Someday we're going to become childhood friends. Real childhood friends. I still remember how she'd once said that to me before she lost her memories.
関係性を先取りするの。神様とか運命とかそういうものに宣言するんだよ。私たちは幼馴染になりますよって。
That's why, after all that happened, I proclaimed to her, I'm Yuma, Kanoe Yuma. Someday, you and I are going to become childhood friends. From that day forward, I started to create new memories with the new Mio. Just as I promised her, we've stayed friends ever since, and we are real childhood friends now.
ここでこうして並んで座って海と空を見ていた時と何も変わらないんじゃないかってそう思ったの。
Okay, look. I censored the panties when she was lying on the bed, alright? I'm not gonna do it here. Because I didn't do it the last time I showed the CG showed, alright? And also because it's behind a text box. And now it finally looks like our prayers are being answered. Little by little, she's starting to regain those memories of the time we spent together that were lost to her. Despite that, what if I take her to another parallel world again, and when we come back, she has no idea who I am? What if we had to rebuild our relationship from the ground up once again? Yeah. That's what I'm scared of. Not Mio who needs to get over her fears. It's me. Who are you? What if she looks at me and asks that again? I'd probably burst into tears right there on the spot. That's why I've been doing everything in my power thus far to keep Mio away from parallel worlds, and not mention anything of them to her. This is also one of the reasons why, when she first mentioned her intentions to move here, I was slightly worried. I lie my head onto the desk and close my eyes. Do I go to the festival with her or not?
そこまで悩むようなら無理をして異世界の夏祭りにこだわる必要もないんじゃないか?
Yeah, I mean, I know that. But part of me feels like it may just be an inevitability. I feel like, at least until she and I graduate, if Mio continues living here, this whole issue with her and the god damn it, and the parallel worlds is going to blow up sooner or later. The only question is when. Mio knows the existence of those worlds, of course. She has to know the secret of the dorm's basement. After all, she got lost in one of those worlds as a child. But I've been actively working to keep her away from them both, physically and mentally, ever since. What happens when that fails, though? What happens when she inevitably comes in contact with them again? Will some catastrophic accident occur? The likes of which I can't even imagine. Just the thought of that. If Mio were to never recover from that damage, or because I deliberately kept her in the dark and avoided telling her crucial information about the parallel worlds. Yeah, that'd be really awful.
そういうの？
I was just thinking that maybe I should get her more comfortable with parallel worlds, even if all she's doing is dipping her feet in.
なるほど。そうすればユーマも少しは安心できる？
I hope so. That'd definitely be the ideal outcome. Well, racking my brains over it won't get me anywhere. I've already thought about that day more than enough. In the many years I've been here, it's been since then. I'd like to believe so, at least. Nothing I do now is going to change anything. I'll invite Mio to the summer festival. I stand up, then I prepare to head out.
どうするんだ？
I'm going to cement our plans for this weekend. I'm still a bit nervous about things, but the most important thing is that Mio enjoys this. After that, I make my way down to the basement. I travel to the merchant town, which is connected to our world at 2 o'clock, 45 minutes, in order to gather more information about the festival.